I recorded this very early in the morning, so I apologize if my tone and the way I speak is slightly different from how the normal usual video review are. Lionel is a warrior. Yes, he's a warrior. His own rule before in Japan was that he buffed up his own defenses with his move, but now after the buff to him in EN, he is now a decent shield breaker to use, with 3-hit ice and 3-hit sword. Other than that, the rest of his kit resemble more to Fior, but her kit is more focusing on offensive while Lionel's kit is more focusing on defending himself. His passives suck. Both of his passives suck. The first one requires you to be inflicted with a status ailment, which requires you to be targeted by the enemy and hoping that the status ailment go off on you, but even then, the payoff of the passive is too little to consider it to be a good passive. His second passive is what is someone like Lionel gonna do with all that BP, huh? You don't even have a taunt that can be extended, or you don't even have a debuff that taunt can be extended by the BP boost. Despite him having so many flaws though, there are some good stuff about him. The fact that they give him a 3-hit ice and 3-hit sword in global, meaning that he's actually a decent shield breaker now, of 2 elements, not just 1. Other than that, he has 2 defense sub skills, so he can reach 30% defense cap by himself, 1 grant 20% and 1 grant 10%, so he can maintain that constant 30% defense buff cap. The only problem is that all of his defense buff is only for himself, which leads me to the biggest weakness of all. Why the hell do you not have a taunt? You had a high base defense, you have skill that raises your own defense, you look like a tank in your art. Why the heck do you not have a taunt? And before anyone tell me that he has taunt on his special, it has limited use for battle, it's unboostable, and it only lasts for 2 turns, and he is slow, which means by the time you get to him, the taunt effect probably only lasts for 1 turn anyway. Honestly, as Lionel has a taunt, he would have not been in the bottom tier anymore. He would have been somewhere in the mid tier, cause he would make a great tank with all that defense up. But nope, keep all that defense up for yourself anyway, Lionel. The enemy is not gonna guarantee to attack you in the first place. Congratulations, Lionel, your EM buff has bumped you from being a bad unit to being a niche unit. That doesn't mean you're a good unit though. In the land of the rising sun where he does not get any of these buffs, he is so bad that he got ascended into the meme celebrity, which is actually a good thing I think, cause you rather be the number 1 bat and get the meme status rather be the second bat and no one talk about you. People over there put this guy below Milad, and I think that should be a good enough indication of how horrible he was in Japan. He was so bad that even the most famous JP YouTuber, CotC, dubbed him the title, the Legend's Strongest Warrior. Fior and Lionel has very similar kit. Both has defense down, both has multi-hit, both has AoE big nuke, well one is 190 and the other one is 210. The main reason why Fior still see usage compared to Lionel is because Fior has Crumpling Cut, or Collapsive Charge. For Fior, this serves as kind of a nuke, and mainly serve as the 20% defense debuff, and not to mention the reason biggest of all is that Lionel is slower than Fior. You can adjust Fior's speed to use her as a shield breaker, so you bring the enemy down to 1 shield, and next time you start with Fior Crumbling Cut on the very first thing, and then your character follow up doing damage to them. Lionel is an inferior version. Now in EN they changed it to a 3-hit now, so that might be help the shield breaker, but he's slower and his debuff only lasts for 10%, not 20%. So despite the fact that people call him the worst unit in the game, he is just a worse Fior. And that is the summary of why Lionel is considered to be the worst unit in the game. Like I say, has he just had 1 taunt move, he would have been at least in the mid tier already, but he does not. Therefore, he is bad. So the best way maybe to say to him is that he is a tank with no taunt.